Hey y'all, and welcome to the Southland Piper. I'm your host Tim. Hope you're doing well today. Here lately, I've been drawn toward or interested or just find appealing pipes of a certain era or design, and that is some custom built Weber pipes and now a BP Jum pipe. Now, some of these are Rhodesian, some of these are Bulldogs, but I really find them an interesting shape. Um, Now, this intro is a little different because of technical reasons. I'm having to go back and reshoot my intro on the pipe. So, then the pipe's already done. So, here's the pipe I'm going to do for today. So let's turn around. Well, pretend to turn around and work at the bench on this pipe. Well, let's see what we got to work with. Let's take another look at the pipe. Now that stem really doesn't have much of a slot right there. You might have to, I prefer a little bit more of a fanning of the slot. I may change that a little bit. The stem, reset that, that's on inches. Tenon, we've got 10.37, so we can do a 9 millimeter filter conversion. The oxidation isn't severe, but there's some there. I'll soak it into that deoxidation cleaner. It's called before and after. But anyway, I'll soak it in that. Let's see. Yeah, it's clear. Maybe the floor is just a little bit of the bottom of the bowl is just a little low. Everything's good and clear. There's the interior. Need some cleaning there. The bowl, the cake isn't overly thick or anything. Now I do have quite a bit of carbon buildup on the top rim. And with this rustication, you see the rustication running through it. It's going to be a little challenging to get all that off and leave that rustication intact, but we'll see what we can do. I wish I knew, or I wish I had a tool that could replicate this. I mean, I could draw in line at a time with something small tipped, but probably still wouldn't look that good. So let's go ahead and ream it out. I don't think there's any issues there. And take a look and then start. I'll get the stem soaking, and then I'll start working on this carbon buildup on the rim. That's the biggest issue with the pipe. Other than that, I think it's pretty straightforward. Okay, let's see what we can get out with the reamers. That one might be a little small. Yeah, let's move up a little bit. Great sound. Which actually means that we've got down to the briar pretty quick. Or we got, yeah, let's see, you can see right there where I hit the, right there, down there, I hit the briar at the bottom. But we gotta work on this top edge a little bit. my largest one. Let's see. This one's 22 millimeter. I believe that's right. Oh, it had it on this one. No, I measured it though. It's 22 millimeter. Well, we've made some progress. The pipe really just wasn't necessarily all that dirty. There's the mortise. Still got a little bit left, but I'll get that in a little while. But I'm still loving this reamer for mortises. It's a great tool. Some people have a habit of they will, when they load their bowl, I mean, they'll come on up and, they'll come on up and either get it even or even a little above and then start lighting. And a lot of times you'll get that when you're loading your pipe, above the rim. I always try to load mine 1/8 of an inch or so short of the top of the rim. That way, you can help prevent some of this carbon. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go around and see if I can't just get some of this to come off a little bit. If it's pretty stubborn, then I may just go ahead and start soaking it in the Murphy's oil soap. And I got a feeling that's where we're headed. Just soaking it in Murphy's. Sometimes you get this stuff to really start to want to. Oh, there it goes a little. Okay, right there. Hope y'all saw that. See, it's just wanting to flake off. And there's no reason to soak that spot. Get the stuff that wants to flake. Go ahead and flake it off before you start trying to use the Murphy's and such. So sometimes you get a little lucky and you can get some of this carbon to just flake off. I'm hoping we don't have too much damage on the rim because I'd like to really leave this rustication in place. But anyway, I'm gonna peck around on this a little bit more, and then I'll show you what I do when I soak one in Murphy's. Here's a little full strength Murphy's. That's just the cap, the Murphy's for the Murphy's bottle, and we'll just lay some of this on. Let it soak about 15 minutes. I'm not worried about it getting down into the bowl because I'm going to be doing that retort. Let's get it good and thick, and then we'll come back and we'll just rub it off with a paper towel. And then once we're satisfied with this treatment, then I'll probably take it in the house and with a soft toothbrush, just scrub down the whole pipe. 15 minutes. And we do maybe up a little close here. Sorry. Yeah, we got off a layer. There's plenty more to go. So this is just a matter of, if you read your instructions on the bottle of your shampoo, rinse and repeat. So that's what this is going to be, rinse and repeat. All right, let's get the stem out. Get a paper towel. A couple of wet wipes. And all right. Back up a little bit. Looks like it came pretty clean. Tell you, if you don't have water in a little shop area, wherever you might be, these unscented, alcohol-free wet wipes that you buy for babies do a really good job. That stuff is sticky. Real test is if it's good and dry, which I think it is. Because if it didn't remove it, you'd see a chalky, that chalky color come back, tan color. So that stuff is pretty good. I like it. Well, I've got most of the stumble clean, but let's talk a second about what we've got right here. You see it cleaned up fairly well. Got a large fill here from the factory. And they filled a little crack right there. Not sure how deep that goes. Some areas, the rustication's kind of gotten broken up a little bit. You particularly see it in a spot on the top rim, this area, right through here. A lot of the ridging has gotten broken. So, let's talk about what I've ended up with. Now, you'll have to excuse my wonderful artistic drawing here. This is basically the way the rustication's set up. Grab a pen. Now, I can take some of my instruments and go in and clean out these areas, and get them kind of down to clean briar, I guess. But you do have some charring that has occurred, and some, and no telling how, because these are just so thin and vulnerable. So that's what you're going to end up with, and possibly all the way through there. So I can clean those out a little bit, but we have the charring. And when it comes to charred briar, you remove it as best you can. But in some cases, you don't necessarily want to. Now, I've got some, the rustication almost disappears in this area. What I could do, of course, I can sand, I can sand a little bit in this area. I could get along here a little bit. I don't know if there's much of anything I can do with this one at all. So that's where we're at. I think what I'll do is sand some of these areas that I can, and may have to sacrifice a little bit of the rustication, or we may just have to end up with some darkening around the rim. So let me get some sandpaper, and I'm going to touch up a few of these little spots, and we'll see how it looks, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm pretty well finished with the sanding. There's that feel. It's looking pretty good. This rim, I've given up a little bit of the rustication right there. I really hate to remove all of that. I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and stain it, because these areas will take the stain darker. So we'll see what this looks like when we're done. I'm sure we'll still have some charring um, in there, and we won't be able to get it out. I mean, yeah, I could keep sanding and probably get it pretty good, but I guess I could always go back and do that. So next step is let's throw some dye on it and then get it buffed up. Okay, I think I'll use this British tan. I've got 11 different dyes, but I just seem to go to this British tan a lot. I just kind of like it. It's not too dark. It's sort of like a light tan with just a touch of um, burgundy or mahogany to it. Well, I guess the big question is, what's this rim going to look like? Yeah, it's definitely going to be darker, which I knew that. So um, I think it'll be okay, though. I'm sure that I know there are people out there that have much better skill sets than I do, or just better knowledge, the correct tools. I've done some research and just can't find anything on how custom built and other manufacturers that use this type of rustication, what they did to achieve that. It's very uniform. If you start looking at the grooves, it's just very uniform. So it's not like they went in there with a single cutting edge and did that work. There's that feel. Didn't want to take the stain very well, but anyway, I'm just a guy who sits out in a shed in his backyard, tinkering with pipes. So that's what I do. Let me get a paper towel with some alcohol on it and rub this down a little bit. I've never had a pipe to want to go so red, and it may be totally fine once it's dry and buffed and such, but it really kind of took the stain with a reddish tint. Interesting. Like I said, I use this British tan quite a bit, and it usually doesn't show up this red. Anyway, we can always scrub it back down and redo it if we want to. Y'all seen me buff before, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how it comes out. And haven't buffed on the stem yet, but I don't really have any tooth marks, maybe just a couple of little ones that I'll work on just a little bit, but it'll buff up just fine. Still got to do the conversion to 9 mil. So let me get this buffed up and we'll take another look at it. Well, here's the pipe. It came out a little bit more red than I was anticipating using that British tan. I've never had a pipe to come out this red with it. Let me know in the comments if you think I should strip it down and restain it a little lighter. Now this darker color does do a better job of hiding the charring around the rim. It does show up that fill a little bit more. But all in all, I think it came out pretty well. It looks like I need to do a little bit more buffing on it. Rusticated pipes sometimes can be difficult to get polished up real nice, waxed up. I did convert to the 9 mil, and that went just fine. No problem with that whatsoever. Like I said, this is my pipe. I don't know if people would be interested in it being this deep in a reddish tone, but at least it's I feel like it's a warm tone on this pipe, so it doesn't look too bad. Well, thank you for sharing your time with me today. I hope you found this video interesting or a little entertaining, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.